You wake to chaos, a confusion of light and heat and smoke. Your head is pounding. You must have hit and blacked out. But you aren't sure how you got here, or what Vertumnalia is happening. There's something important you need to remember. Your stomach lurches as the floor crumbles between your feet, then collapses. Your body aches, and your eyes burn from the smoke. A figure appears through the flames. It's your friend. Your friend? Wait, why can't you remember her name? She's gesturing and shouting at you. All you hear is a ringing in your ears. What's going on? My mouth. Let's go with what's going on. You try to speak, but the words come out jumbled. Your throat seizes around a lungful of choking smoke. You feel dizzy and confused. Your friend pulls you out of the rumble. She throws your arm over her shoulder and half drags you towards the door. Through it, you see a deep, airy twilight, dark blue, the cold against the heat of the fire around you. Glow season. Glowing eyes. You shake your head to clear your vision. Is that some kind of dog? Like from Earth? The creature howls and lunges, its jaws open. You were born on the Stratospheric, Earth's first colony ship, halfway through its 20-year voyage to a wormhole at the edge of the Sol system. Your parents run the hydroponic gardens, which make fresh air and vegetables for the ship. Like the other colonists, they bravely chose to make this one-way journey to the uncharted planet of Vertumnalia at 4 in hope they could escape Earth's troubles. They had you the old-fashioned way, merging their genes like they merged the cultures and traditions. They name you. Let's go with Solane. You are a bright-eyed child with an active imagination, sometimes too active, your mom says. We're going to use the mouse real quick. Androgynous. You have vivid dreams, things you never experienced. Dirt under your feet, skies overhead, endless jungles and strange animals. I wonder if this is what Vertumnalia will be like. Every child on the Stratospheric is given one genetic enhancement. By age 6, you see the first signs of yours. Eagle eyes, extra fingers, exorbitant brain, super strength, calm temperament, nothing at all. Let's just go with absorbent brain. Professor Howell says kids learn fast because their brains are like sponges. But when people get older, they can't absorb as much new stuff. Not for you. You're always learning, and your curiosity knows no end. The other kids have trouble keeping up with you, but one tries. Energetic and loyal, Nome, congenital cow, golden calf and Mars, quite adventurous Diz, stupendous and mature Tangjip, sweet and shy Tammy. Let's just go with the quiet one. Like his studious twin sisters, Tangent, Diz sits back in the classroom and doodles on his holopalm, bound while cracking jokes about the word diagrams in your textbooks. Quiet natures and morbid curiosity make him somewhat of a loner. At least he has a friend in you. Yeah, sure, that sounds fine. You're 10 years old when the ship finally reaches a wormhole. Professor Hal says it's like a doorway to the other star systems. Planet Vertumnalia 4 on the other side. You run emergency drills for months to prepare. The day finally comes, it starts with a rumble, and things start to slide off the tables. You hurry to gather near the escape pods just in case. The emergency area is crowded with families. It's going to be fine, Selene, your dad soothes. We'll be through this wormhole and down the planet before you know it, just like we've practiced. Your mom gives him a sharp, worried look. The red emergency lights switch on as the siren begins to sound somewhere distant in the ship. You try to breathe slowly like you were taught, but you're very scared. You look at the porthole, the stars are gone. When you're frightened, you Try to be brave for others? Try to get in touch with your emotions? Or can't choose that one? Let's try to be brave. Sometimes you pretend to be confident so people around you will be less scared. Look over at your classmate's Tang and realize she's doing the same thing. She gives you a hard smile. You return it and keep focusing on your breathing. 1 second, I just need to check something. You wait. The shaking builds. Everything starts getting very weird. The hallway stretches, and you're stretching too, your arms impossibly long. Your head feels like it's slowly filling up like a balloon contracting down to the size of an atom at the same time. Is this a wormhole? You hear the distant ominous squeal of metal giving way as the ship shudders and lurches in slow motion. The worst part is a sense of deja vu. You're sure this has happened to you before, and you know, somehow, that everything is going to be okay. The shuddering reaches a crescendo. You hear an impossibly loud crunch and feel weightless for a few seconds before gravity slams you back against the wall head first. You black out. You slip unconscious, you feel yourself twisted out of time. It's today, yesterday, and tomorrow all at once. And more than just one tomorrow. Lots of them. Different tomorrows. You find yourself in a place you know from your dreams. Tilled fields, dramatic ridges, and stranger, but also not a stranger, grimacing as she grabs your hand. Hurry up, she says. I'm not going to let you miss this. Distantly, you feel the ship shaking and stop, and you hear your parents' worried voices. Feeling safe, you slip further into the warm embrace of the stars. You drift. Gradually, your consciousness reforms. You wake up in the med bay. Your med bay, under you plays the soft tone and automated voice space. 2 weeks have elapsed. The patient's cranial injury has completed healing. They may now safely be discharged. As the fog lifts from your head, you realize something different from this room. It's so bright. Try to focus on the window. Something's definitely different. Sunlight? Trees? Ground? Ground's fun. Instead of the familiar blackness of space, bright light from twin blue and yellow suns streaming through the windows. You peer out and see grass, walled domes, walls ringed by giant mushroom-like trees. There's construction materials everywhere and people walking around outside on the ground. Hello, Metal. You better get outside there and join them. Rush outside and start my new life. Cautiously step outside. Let's just rush out. Yay, I can run. Oh, Tammy jumps up as you step out of the ship's quarters behind her. You're awake. Are you all better? You better go see your dad. She points southeast towards some geodesic domes. To walk, click on the ground. I'm using controller. Click on characters to talk to them. Circles. Tammy looks concerned. You slept for so long after you bumped your head, she says. I bet your parents are worried. Your dad is working over at the geoponics near the domes. They're called greenhouses. I'd go with you, but, this is as far as I've been from the ship since we landed. Tammy stares, blushing. It's scary outside. There's my dad. It's Elaine! Your dad gives you a big warm hug. I'm so happy you're finally awake. Dr. Instance thought I'd be best if he kept you sleeping while your noggin healed. Your mother and I thought you might sleep away the whole year, you snoozy little gooseberry. He checks your head and looks relieved. He was clearly very worried about you, but covers it up with jokes and smiles. Aw, love you, Dad. He's so embarrassing. Yeah, let's be full of love. Welcome to Vertumnalia, he says, gesturing around you. You've never seen the stratospheric from the outside, except in pictures. The ship has been separated in two, and parts taken off to form other buildings and a big wall around the whole colony. The alien juggle creeps out to the wall. Only the geodesic greenhouses pass outside it, dotting their way up the hill. Beautiful? How did you do this so fast? What's outside the walls? Simple answers. I'm glad you agree, he says. Your mother and we've been waiting a long time to see the grass and trees again, even if they are purple. Oh, before I forget, he pulls a package out of his satchel and hands it to you. You blink and stare at it blankly. Don't you know what day it is? He asks. You honestly don't. You remind him that you've been asleep in the medbay. Happy birthday! He shouts, wrapping you in a warm hug. Your birthday already, you feel a dizzying sense of deja vu. You stare hard at the wrapped package. You know exactly what's in there. You remember it. No, you dreamed about this package some years ago on the ship. Inside will be a small medallion in the shape of the sun that your dad made by hand. Open the package, tell him what you know is in it. Don't open the package. Let's mess with our dad. You describe the medallion, and your dad tisks as he hands you the package. Aw, who won the surprise? Was it Seek? I bet you it was Seek. They hate fun. He grins and adds, don't tell him I said that. You start to explain that nobody told you, but someone shouts your dad's name. Listen, I'm so sorry, Selene, he says, but we gotta get back to work. There's an accident when we landed and... He stops himself. Don't worry, we're gonna fix it, your mother and I. Professor Hal's expecting you in classes, if you're feeling up to it. Your dad says, pointing west to the engineering ring in the rear end of the bisected ship. Then he points to the large doors you came out of earlier. Or you can relax in our quarters until you're feeling better. We'll talk tonight, he says, then kisses the top of your head and ruffles your head. Have a wonderful day, Selene. I love you. Love you too, Dad. Give him a thumbs up. Like I said, big and full of love. Let's talk to Diz. You see Diz sitting on the ground beside some bushes. Is he hiding from somebody? He seems to be watching the gate and the wall to the south, where the grown-ups are coming and going. Kids aren't allowed past the walls, he says quietly without getting up. They say there's nothing to be afraid of, but why do we need walls? You stare at the gate and you have a sudden rush of memory so strong you think you might faint. Imagine something crashing through the wall, something enormous and dark and wriggly. For years in space, you have half-remembered nightmares of monsters, of your ship being destroyed, of sifting through wreckage that used to be your home trying to find something. Your dad always told you the dreams weren't real. Breaking from your daydream just whispers, I think there's monsters out there. I believe you, stop making things up, our parents will keep us safe. I'll believe him. No you don't, he says. You're being sarcastic, I can tell. Nobody believes me. He turns his back and ignores you. Let's just go with they're huge and wriggly and dangerous. Stop making fun of me, Dizmouse. You're as bad as Mars. The person I always screw the name up. Hey, Selene. Namine seems really at home here. She's rolling a sports ball with her foot and making patterns in the words blue snow. Stuff is different from the snow on Earth, she tells you, because it isn't cold, but it's still neat and you can make stuff out of it. Your foggy head clears a little. Hanamine is simple, physical, real. You always feel grounded near her. What are you making? Have you seen any monsters? Aren't you in school? See you later. Let's just go. What are you making? Just snow spirals, she says. Earlier, me and Cal made a big snow pile. You missed me when we were sleeping in the medbay. She smiles, her broad gap teeth smile at you. Now that you're awake, we can play. Have you seen any monsters? Nope, just some little bugs. The grown-ups would say if they were monsters, right? She shrugs and smiles reassuringly. Even if there were monsters, Chief Rat would beat them all up. So don't worry, my mom says if we're safer here than in space. We both look up at the wreckage of stratospheric spaceship we were. Namine's mom, Aunt Cedent, is probably right about that. Look what the wormhole did to your ship. Aren't you in school? She smacks her forehead. School! I wondered where everybody was. I guess I'm going to be late for humanities class. She doesn't look very worried to you. It's okay, she says. Professor Hal is chill. He won't mind, but we should probably go now. She grins and starts running towards engineering. Hey, race you! No fair. She's getting a head start. You're engineering. Alright. A low throbbing noise comes from the engine room, which provides you power from the colony. Other corridors lead off to teaching labs and medbay. You know the route to your classroom well, but the rest of the wing is off limits to children. Concurrence, the ship's onboard AI beams down to you from a nearby holoscreen. Don't forget to study hard, Selene. Pick an activity to do. Study life sciences, study humanities. Biology or creativity. We will just become more creative, I guess. Welcome, Selene, Professor Hal greets you. I hope you're all warmed up and ready to study the glorious humanities. History, literature, language, media, and philosophy. And yes, if you're lucky, we'll have a little ancient Earth poetry too. He seems excited about the last bit. By the way, if anyone is interested in taking engineering classes, please register through the congruent scheduling system when you have the chance. She's helping me teach them. Today's assignment is an easy one, Hal says with a yawn. Because I was up late repairing Congruence's terminal, I could use a nap. I'd like you to write an essay on what the Vertumnalia colony means to you. Freedom, equality, democracy. My friends are all here. I feel safe here. Just doodle instead of writing. Let's just continue the love train and go with loving our friends. You write all about your buds and the fun things you do together. When Hal wakes up from his nap, he asks for a few students to read their essays in class. Mars is annoyed that you hardly mention her. Well, you aren't really friends, so... Your parents have been working from first dawn to well after dinner every day. You know, growing food is an important job and it's vital to get crops in the ground right away, but there seems to be something more than that. It's such a change from growing up in the stratospheric, when you saw them all the time. You stay up and wait for them night before going to bed, but you can tell they're exhausted. They can effort to spend time with you. I'm sorry we haven't seen much of you, little gooseberry, your dad says. Your mom watches as she works the pebble out of her garden tiller, which also serves as a crutch. How have you been holding up? I learned some stuff in school. School is so boring. Yeah. I learned some stuff in school. I'm glad to hear that, your mom says. I want you to study hard, work hard, and stay out of trouble. Your dad smiles. Professor Howell will give you kudos if you get good grades, so you can spend those at the depot once it's open. You know, says your dad, raising an eyebrow at your mom, I think there's a lot of different ways to learn. School's just one of them. You can learn it from working on a hobby or by helping a friend. Your mom shakes her head and sighs. You can tell she's just trying to put on a gentle expression. We both agree this colony is an experiment, and that means we're going to do things on Earth. You're old enough now to start making your own decisions about your education and future. Reminder, I'm 10. And if that means you want to find your own way, we'll gladly accept that. Your dad puts a hand on your shoulder. We'll be proud of you no matter what you do. Try talking to your friends. They may have ideas of how you can spend your time. Come by Geoponics, your mom adds. We could use your help. Enamane is bumping sports ball with her wrist, trying to keep it in the air. Heads up, she shouts, and bumps the ball in the direction. Think fast. I can't do a trick. Bounce it back. Look out! A ball is flying towards you. Yeah, we could try to bounce it. You bounce the ball back and forth with her, trying to see how many times you can rally and keep it going. Enamane tells you about a sports ball court, proper exercise court, way bigger than the little 0G one on the Stratosphere. Her brother Com is coaching the junior futsal team this year. He's so great, she says. He's good at everything, especially spiking. He's coaching me to play awesome like him. You should come join us. Unlock sports ball in the garrison. Hello, my little potato, your dad exclaims, smiling warmly. What have you been up to today? Just hanging with my friends, staying in. It's cold out here, playing with fresh air. Sticking with the power of friendship, too. That Cal's a good boy. I don't think I've met Cal yet. Have you seen Enamane? She's been out by the garrison playing sports ball. I think she's spent every day outside since we've landed. He chuckles as well. Guess that's what happened when you've got enough brothers to make your own sports ball team. He breathes deeply and slowly around. Vertumnalia is magnificent, isn't it? You nod. Seasons, he shouts, throwing his hands wide. I miss seasons! Back on Earth, it got much colder and the snow wasn't half as pretty as our spark snow. He sighs, stretching. You just wait until dust season when both suns will be high in the sky and it'll be real hot then, you'll see. You find your mom hard at work setting up greenhouses with a small construction crew. You've seen these plans pinned to the wall of your family's quarters for years now. These geodesic domes will house more delicate plants of Earth, spinach, tomatoes, maybe even fruit. She takes a swig from her canteen as you approach. Looking for something to do, she asks. Remember, Selene, you're responsible for your own schedule now that we've landed. You can decide how to spend your time, so long as it's productive. She points towards the engineering wing in the back half of the Stratosphere's severed frame. Professor Hal's still expecting you in class, but a well-rounded education includes practical application. You're old enough to help with the work around here. She claps her hand on her shoulder. I've got a minute. Anything you need to know? That's a lot of choices. What are you doing in geoponics? What's happening in engineering? What can I do in the quarters? What's the garrison? What's going on in command? Can I join expeditions? No, I'm good. Can I join expeditions? Oh, you're too young to leave the colony. It's dangerous, she shakes her head. Your father would be worried. Not you, huh? There's so much we don't know about the world out there. Let the adults find out, then maybe you can join them in a few years when you're older. She gives you a stern look. She isn't going to budge on this one. For now, stay inside the wall. We'll leave this alone for now. And you are Mars, correct? A sharp whistle interrupts your thoughts. Hey, Selene, Mars calls out to you. Come here, I have a job for you. You walk up into Mars, who's sheltering from the snow underneath the ship's overhang. It's so gross here, she complains. Spark snow would ruin my good clothes. At least on the ship we had climate control. Ugh. Tammy made me some soy sweets, but there was no way I'm going to out there all in this weather, she continues. Since you're, running around in it, could you fetch them for me? Don't love being her little gopher, but power of friendship. Okay. Good, Mars claps. She's probably just down the hill near their quarters. Mars sighs. She's scared to take more than a few steps from the door. All she wants to do is hide inside and make sweets. Tammy is staring obliviously at the sky, smiling at herself. She startles as you approach. Oh, hello, Selene, she says, putting her hand to her chest. Do you need something? I'm here for Mars' soy sweets. Tammy smiles for you. Oh, it's so nice you helped Mars. She's a very important person, you know. She hands you a box wrapped in pink and yellow scarf. One order of mango soy sweets made fresh this morning, she says. Please tell Mars that she can have the scarf back, okay? She used some of her kudos to nanoprint it for me because it's so dusty here. But I think I'm getting used to it now. Tammy smiles again and tucks her hair behind her big elven ears. Mars is so cool, she says fondly. Sometimes she's kind of bossy, but I know she really cares too. Mars puts her hand out expectantly. Oh, I don't have high enough persuasion to try to get some. Just hand it to her. Hand over the box of soy sweets with a smile. Mars takes and giggles. You're such a good sidekick, doing everything I say. She opens the box and hands you a soy sweet. Your tips, she tells you. Oh, and Mr. Seek's looking for someone to do delivery jobs at the depot, she says. I don't want to do it, because, you running around there. No. Just go through here, she says, gesturing to the door behind her, and tell her I refer them. Just go with this. This month, you've decided to explore pre-holographic media on Earth, which is a pretty great excuse to kick back and watch movies all day. It's hard to believe that movies used to be 2D. Boring. Feels too much like learning to be fun. This week, you had a few more bouts of deja vu, remembering what somebody is about to say or do just before they do it. Sometimes they actually do it, but not always. This morning, you were sure Professor Howell was going to trip on the uneven floor in the cafeteria and spill his plate of hash browns. You even told Mars to watch. He didn't, though. As Professor Howell washed away his hash browns safe for today, Mars called you a liar and a dummy. At night, your dreams are all mixed up with stuff that you know can't be real. You're chased by monsters the size of buildings only to be saved by strange people you never met. You're holding hands with someone you love. You're crying as you help lift a shrouded body into a colony recycler. Everything seems so familiar, but when you try to recall their faces when you wake up, they're smeared in your memory like wet paint. But what if those things haven't happened yet, but they will someday? Anytime you try to tell someone, they think you're playing a trick, or that you're sick, or you need to go to medbay. You eventually decide to stay quiet about your strange dreams. Why? You don't want people to worry, you just want to be normal. Secret powers are fun. Friendship and love. Don't want people to worry. Parents have so much on their minds already. You have a feeling that something is happening at Geoponics that they don't want you to know. You don't understand it, but when they come here home at night, they look really sad. You don't want to make that worse. You just keep going to classes and staying out of trouble. It'll be easier for everyone, yourself included. Tangent is hunched over her holopalm, frowning and poking angrily in the air. She speaks without looking up at you. Professor Howe wants us to prep a list of native flora with pictures. There should be a catalog on the colony holonet, but I can't find it anywhere. Plants? Try looking outside. I'll help you find that catalog. Let's make our own list. This seems to be the power of friendship choice. You launch your own holopalm and start searching the colony's holonet archives for a list of terminal plants and animals. 10 minutes later, you find it buried under survey logistics in the expeditions net. Namane passes and pulls a face at the two of you. Hey, holo nerd, she shouts. School's over. Come play sports ball in the sunshine. Tang just rolls her eyes. I believe you're Cal. Cal is riding around Geopanic's gardens on his hoverboard. The board comes to a sudden, shuddering stop on the rocky ground in front of you. Cal falls off, but catches his balance before he eats dirt. Nice, Elaine. Real ground is way harder to hover on than ship floors. There's bumps everywhere. Yeah, that sucks. Maybe hoverboards don't work outside? We all have to adapt. Let's just go with the yeah, that sucks. Yeah, no way. I didn't mean it like that, Cal exclaims. It's actually really cool. Hovering outside is rad. Look at this. He runs over to a small depression in a nearby hill and presents it like something amazing. Look at this. It's a skate bowl. Cool. Can I try a what now? Yeah, let's make a fool of myself. Sure, but please be careful. Mom says if I break my hoverboard, we can't make another one. Take turns riding around the bowl, trying to get enough speed going down one side and coming back to the other. You don't land any tricks. It's hard just staying on the board without even ground, but it's still fun. Tammy has a speech bubble. See Tammy sitting quietly near the entrance of the lounge. You've known her for well your entire life. Back on the ship? Power of friendship. Tammy had the best doll collection. After her mom died, her dad used his nano-printed credits to print her a different doll every month for a whole year. Her ears perked up when she sees you. Oh, hello, Selene, she says, her voice soft and dreamy, like a beam of starlight. Do you want to play dolls? Sure do. Nowhere too late. Maybe later. Sure do. You don't think Tammy will ever be too old to play with dolls. If anything, she has even more of them now. She takes you to her quarters and brings out the entire Spacey Stacy doll collection. A disturbingly realistic baby with real bowel movements and two super fancy posable dolls named Lily and Tilly who can be programmed to move on their own. Tammy isn't very good at the programming, so Lily and Tilly just roll around awkwardly when you turn them on. You cover quickly by saying they must be breakdancing at a club. Two, you spend the afternoon making up stories of the rise to stardom as professional dancers. We can do an engineering class. Professor Howell rubs his hand together as he waits for class to settle on. He's in a great mood. This must be his favorite subject to teach. Biology and chemistry are the wet sciences, and engineering must be dry. Believe me, this class definitely won't be dry. He winks. It's weird. We'll also be learning math, physics, computing, robotics, agriculture, and astronomy. Tangent raises her hand. Will we also learn about nuclear engineering, she asks. Professor Howell nods. Yes, at a beginner level, we'll have an overview of atomic theory and take a field trip to the engine rooms and learn how our spaceship's nuclear reactor works to power the colony. Wahaha. Let's rest this up. It was long, well-lit hall of the outer hall of the ship's midsection. Strewn with tables and cushions and serves as a communal living room for the tiny one-room spaces that every family is assigned. You flop down in the lounge's big beanbag pile with some other kids. Cal is dazed, peaceful look on his face. The air smells so good on the Vertumnalia, and so does the dirt even. You notice his clothes are filthy, but obviously Cal couldn't care less. Amane bounces in. Holy crap, there's so much space to run around and play in. Tom and Chiffrette set up an outdoor sports ball house, and this is way bigger than the old one on the ship. Tangent carefully selects one cushion from the pile and perches on it. The school is expanding some of the empty engineering bays, she tells you. We're getting a big new lab of experiments and local resources. There's so much to learn about on this planet. And Amane rolls her eyes, but Tang continues. We shouldn't forget our studies just because we've landed. Tang's right, school's important. Ugh, school, let's play outside. I want to explore the genre. I miss space. Yeah, I'm studious. Tammy nods in agreement. It's scary out there, she mumbles. I'm going to stay close to our quarters for now. You've had less of the deja vu dreams come to light feeling this week. You're starting to think you even imagine it. But suddenly you get a prickling sensation in the back of your neck and remember that Mars is about to enter the lounge and tell everyone to look outside. You stare at the door. Mars walks through it as if on cue. OMG, everybody, look outside. They're hosting a flag on over command. She says, clapping her hands excited. You know what that means, right? She stands tall with her hands on her hips. Vertumnalia is officially humanity's first exocolony, ever. You look out at the flag, feeling dizzy and silently mouth the words along with which she says X. You remember this moment so well. This is history, kids, she explains, wrapping Amane and Tangent under each arm. And we were here. You wake from an afternoon nap. The dream you're in is one you've had many times. The air is strangely pink and fluffy, kind of sticky, and you have to push your way through it. It feels like every step you take is a journey. You push through the pink cloud and emerge into the children's creche, a room you know well. You see your friend Tammy standing before you, enormous bear made up of pure light. It lunges at her, through her, and she collapses to the ground, fainting like a fairy tale princess. You wake with your heart racing. Tammy's leaning over you where you've been sleeping in the nest of pillows. She shakes your shoulder gently. Oh, I'm sorry, Selene, she says, as speaking to a small child. I think you were having a nightmare. Are you okay? Are you? Nothing bad happened in the dream, but you feel sick with dread. Since you're awake, you should visit the cafeteria. Aunt Sedent is making a new kind of candy, she says. It's made of cotton. Is that weird? I have to go tidy the crush first. I'll meet you there. Save some for me, okay? Tammy skips off towards the crush, humming to herself. You feel groggy and need a minute to clear your head. That dream. Forget dreams, get that candy. Wait, go save Tammy. I don't want anything. Let's go save Tammy. Sprint down the hall to children's creche where little kids play and learn during the day. It's empty. All of the young kids probably off eating candy with Auntie Sedent. You spot Tammy tidying up some supplies near the craft rooms. Above him, a hollow projector displays an enormous floating teddy bear made of purple light. It bobs silent in the air. Mr. Bearsworth, a decade of happy memories playing with it through your mind, is in his. Tammy stands up on her toe and reaches for the switch to turn it off. You slam into her, knocking her off her feet into the ground. At the same moment, the halogen projector sparks and explodes. The bear disappears, and the homeroom goes dark. In the dim emergency lighting, you see Tammy's eyed with surprise fear. She sits up and rubs her elbow, staring at you. Sorry, are you hurt? I just saved your life. It was an accident. I tripped. Let's go with sorry. I'm okay, she sniffles, looking like she might start crying. Why did you do that? Owie. Let's just go with it was an accident. Oh, she mutters. She sniffles and wipes her nose, looking like she's trying not to cry. Are you okay? Tell her you're fine and says she's sorry again for hurting her. Happy that you just followed your dream and got here in time. Decided not to mention the dream since she seems weirded out already. After a minute, the lights come back on. The projector is dead, a thin trickle of smoke coming from the base. Don't worry, Tammy says, brightening as she gets surveyed. Professor Howe can fix it. He can fix anything. By the time you find the professor and finish cleaning up, you've forgotten all about the pink candy in the cafeteria. Tammy's sitting down in the grass with a baby on her lap. They're playing nicely with some flowers and strand of beads in Tammy's hair or something. Tammy keeps gently removing the hair from the baby's mouth. Oh, Selene, she giggles as you join her. Aren't babies the best? There's so many new babies in the creche. You'd think we're starting a new colony or something. Parents are too busy doing work and somebody needs to take care of the little ones. She looks down lovingly at the baby who's not suckling on part of her, eating it good and damp with baby drool. You could help too, it would be fun. Unlocked, babysitting in the living quarters. The baby chooses this moment to spit up a big bottle of pale yellow liquid on Tammy's dress. Oopsie! Tammy coos and picks up the baby, then she holds them towards you. Could you take them for a minute while I find a towel, Selene? Baby hiccups and rolls her eyes. They still look a little queasy to you. Of course, okay, I guess. You hell no. So real life, my choice would definitely be you hell no, but our approach dictates, of course. You hold the baby against your shoulder and pat the back the way you've seen parents do sometimes. They let out a satisfying loud belch, and you feel a trickle of liquid run down your back. Yay. But you don't care, because there's nothing better than a fresh baby smell. You decide to take Tammy up on that babysitting job. You meet your dad adjusting the watering pot in your mom's flower garden. He's having a sneezing fit, his eyes runny and red. You're alarmed. You've never seen him look so sick before. People were hardly ever ill on the Sarasota, except sometimes when the zero-G rooms made them queasy. Not to worry, my little beanstalk, he says, nasally. I'll be fine. This is just Polly making my head a little stuffy. He wipes his nose with a handkerchief and looks around everywhere you turn. Everywhere you turn, the hair is a little soupy, tinged with pink from all the floating pollen. On Earth, your dad tells you, we used to call this hay fever. Even though it had nothing to do with hay, your mom cuts in, carrying a large bouquet of flowers. Native flowers seem to be in full bloom this time of year. She buries her nose deep in them, and they smell fantastic. Your dad smiles kindly and agrees. They sure are beautiful. Then he blows his nose loudly. Sniff the flowers, tell him you're scared of the power. Sniff them. They do smell good, and they look harmless. Your dad's eyes look so sad, but maybe that's just allergies. Hey, Selene, I know the last few weeks have been very hard for you. This might be a good time to relax and stick around the quarters the week. Selene, Tangent says, approaching you with purpose. We need to discuss my brother. Let's go with Buddy. Yes, yes, Dis, she says impatiently. I need to figure out where he's been disappearing. Ever since we landed, I barely see him anymore. He doesn't come home at night, and sometimes She trails off and looks at her feet. Well, I'm not very good terms with the brothers of late, but people are becoming worried. I get feeling Tang is the one who's worried, but she doesn't want to admit it. I'll talk to him, I'll find out, that's his business. He probably won't tell you, Tangent says angrily. Newton's apple, she swears. He won't even talk to me anymore. She sighs. You may have to follow him. I would, but everyone in the lab would know if I was gone. No one cares where he goes during the day. You tell Diz that his sister Tangent wants to know where he's been disappearing off to. His eyes flit briefly to yours, then stares vaguely off towards the engineering room wing where his sister's been reading her holopomp vision res. He doesn't say anything. Just worry about you. Where do you go, Diz? You better tell me or else just leave him alone. Friendship power! His eyes lights up and he whispers, I bet you'd like it out there, Selene. He motions past, stretching away from the colony beyond the walls. I sneak out and go exploring sometimes. There's so much neat stuff. You just have to wait until the grown-ups aren't looking. I'm small, so it's easy. Just don't tell her, okay? I don't want to get in trouble. You follow him down a drain pipe half hidden behind the sports ball fields. Small kids like Diz could fit through it. Or you. Tangent will want to hear about this. Unlock sneak out and expeditions. You tell Tangent you know where Diz has been going. You tell her he's been sneaking out to explore the jungle, not far away, outside the walls. Tangent looks concerned. Really, she says, wrinkling her hands. Is he safe? Probably not. I'll keep him safe. She eyes you skeptically. Full offense, Selene, but you're just a kid, she replies. However, I suppose it's good to know he isn't alone out there. There we go. You've seen Diz use this drain pipe behind the garrison to sneak through the walls. There's a metal grate that comes off, so you can crawl through. Do you want to go through there? Sneak out to explore nearby. We'll become the bad kid. Events in Siri can be done in any order. They won't cause time to pass, but they will increase your stress. Return home via the Expedition's Depot fag or the Home button on the top left of the screen. Watch for collectible items you can bring back as gifts. Events respawn at the beginning of each year. New collectibles have a chance to repair every suit. You slipped through the drain pipe out of the colony before anyone saw you. Anyone, that is, except for a dark form watching you from the trees nearby. Could that be... is that Diz? He turns and disappears into the jungle. Now you're sure of it. That was definitely Diz. He's not allowed out of the colony either. Shout his name, follow him, ignore him. Shouting's dumb, I'm sneaking. You scamper after him through the bush, heedless of branches and brambles scrambling at your arms and legs. Without a proper fire shoot, you get all scratched up. This kid is fast. You quickly lose sight of Diz and can't find his trail again, but you do learn something by trying. Spot Diz sitting in a clearing, but not before he sees you first. Instead of sinking away like usual, he stays still as you approach. Like it's totally natural that he'd be sitting in the middle of a jungle so far away from the colony walls. Now that you think about it, you're a little glad to see him. You are so far away from him that you can't see the walls anymore, and it's really weird out here, and it's getting late. Diz fingers unblinkingly as you approach. Hi, Selene, is all he says. Hi, Diz. Why are you out here? I'm good at telling you. Hi. He seems to be in a good mood, something you see very rarely. Did you see Utopia out there, Diz asks? Chief Serotonin is easy to sneak back, but Utopia has like X-ray vision eyes or something. She'll catch you for sure if you get too close. She caught me once and I got in big trouble. How about I show you something cool and sneaking out will be our secret, okay? He jumps up and walks a little ways in the trees. You follow. Just a few minutes away, the ground drops off into a large stone outcropping just over a cliff face. Diz walks right to the edge without slowing. It's a long way down. Come on, he says. Try to be brave, what's up? Gotta be brave. You bravely step out of the rock and walk out to the edge with Diz. You both sit down, feet dangling over the precipice, and look out to the amazing view. It's incredible. You snap a picture with your holopalm. You won't share it on the net. It's your secret. Yours and Diz's. Keep exploring, go home. Need stress less than 100. I got stress less than 100. What's the odds this is the person Diz told me to avoid? You Spot Uncle Tonin, Chief Spuratonin that is, bumbling about preparing some automatic survey equipment and declaring. He's very cautious, jumpy even, but he's making a lot of noise. Every few minutes he'll pause to listen, check his surroundings, and go back to banging away. Shouldn't be hard to avoid if you don't want to get caught sneaking out. You don't want a chance getting taught. Your mom would be so mad. Also, haven't done this one. Geoponics. The greenhouses have different biomes inside. Growing plants from Earth that might belong in a desert, jungle, or a temperate forest. Some are so delicate that you have to spray off any germs in the airlock before you can enter. In seasonal barren dry soil, tiny purple weeds sprout up from the cracks in the wind of their way around each other, suffocating one another in attempt to gain higher ground. I might as well try shoveling some dirt this time around. It's your first day in the glorious world of agriculture, soil convergence. Good morning, Selene. Looks like you're working for your old lady. Hope you don't expect me to go easy on you just because you're my kid. She walks you around Geoponics meeting and points out where everything is. Your job is to move sod, compost plants, garden waste, and equipment from one place to another. Get comfortable with this, she says, pushing a squeaky old-fashioned wheelbarrow towards you. Any questions before you start moving dirt? No, we have machines for this. Where do I move it again? Why not just use hydroponics? Let's get to work. No, we have machines for this. The construction crew has already claimed all the hover lifts, she said, shrugging. But they'll break down in a few years anyways, so we don't have the materials to fix them up. She grips your forearm. We're planet side now. Use your muscles, nature hydraulic cushions. Let's just get to work. That's my kid, your mom says, slapping you on the back as you stumble a little. Your arms start to ache after the first half-hour work, but you keep going. By the end of the month, you feel utterly drained and exhausted. And good somehow. You can feel your muscles growing already. It's time for Vertumnalia. Etiquette and the council have called a festival to celebrate life here on the planet Vertumnalia. Everyone gathers in the colony square to hear Governor Etiquette's speech. In Earth's history, Etiquette begins, and then clears her throat, waits for everyone to quiet down. It's Earth's history. Vertumnalia was known as the god of seasons, change, gardens, and fruit. It's no coincidence that our forebears of the planet Vertumnalia chose to take on such an auspicious name in hopes of seeding the future beyond seasons of humanity. We will continue our tradition of Vertumnalia, a mid-season festival to celebrate our Vertumnalia, this lush planet on Valentine's Day. Yawn, clap. Yes, let's just enjoy the festivities. Everyone cheers and applauds. The members of the councils all get up on stage one at a time and give their own short speeches. Governor Etiquette announces each one. Governor Etiquette, command. Chief Administrator Seek, command. Chief Security Ret, garrison. The Chief Engineer, Instance Engineering. Chief Cultivator, Flu, Geoponics. Chief Steward, Antecedent Quarters. Chief Surveyor, Melatonin, Expeditions. When it's your mother, Lulu's turn, she announces that tonight you'll be eating some of your first crops going very soon. Just realizing I've never said my mom's name before now. Your eyes go to the feast table aboard the Stratosphere. It would have been mostly soy-based food from the nanoprinters, spiced up with the pressed fruits and vegetables, but known as small growing bays. This year, Earth's plants look even less robust than usual, but they're supplemented by some Vertumnalia plants that you've come to appreciate. Juicy potato and slabs of edible fungi. Etiquette takes stage after everyone on the council has said their piece. What is a festival without festivities, she asked. Professor Howland's security chief, Ref, had organized a 3-part competition for the kids. Good luck, children! Which one do you enjoy? Bot wrestling? Toughness-based? Talent show? Creativity-based? Or science fair? Reasoning-based? Of those, my reasoning seems to be the best, so let's go with that. Tangent competes, of course, entering her study of the ship's hydro recycling system. It was previously used to make urine drinkable, but she offers that it could be now turned into new uses. Despite how many times she says the word pee, it's still boring, but she puts a lot of effort into it. Tammy has a science project too. She tells you she wasn't strong enough for the strength competition and was too scared to go on stage for the talent show, so science fair it is. I think her experiment was supposed to be putting white flowers in red food coloring to turn them red, but the flowers all turned blue instead. Tammy can't explain why, she just keeps blushing and giggling and embarrassing. The flowers are pretty though. She tucks one behind your ear for good luck as you prepare to give your presentation. You worked hard on your product. It's a baking soda and vinegar volcano with a twist. You grind up native rock as the soda part, and use the juice from a native plant for the vinegar part. Your dad helped with the idea. Just a little, though. He used it to explain the native acids and bases on Vertumnalia. They're very strong, so the resulting explosion splatters all over the judges. It's a crowd pleaser, earning you the top prize for science fair. A 5 card seems good. After the festivities are over, everyone takes time off for a much-needed break. During the fierce heat of dust, a few days of rest is exactly what you need. You feel refreshed. Cool. Got all my stress back. Very well worth it to push through. Yeah, let's go with sports ball this time. When Monet meets you at the court, she's bouncing from one leg to the other in excitement. Her brother Kam is organizing you two, she tells you. Kombucha offers you a high five and greeting, then tosses the sports ball your way. Let's start with a practice game to see what you're good at. You and Monet are team captains. Pick your team. Monet used to pass through Cal and Mars on the ship, but Tammy, you're surprised to see her here. Kam will fill in to even up the teams, but he promises to go easy on the other side. Alright, one Mars coming up. I'll play Spiker. Mars runs to take position. Seems like she's in it for the glory. Hopefully she wants to share some of that with the rest of the team. Monet chose the kombucha, of course. They bump fists. Your next choice is... Yeah, figured you pick Cal. Mind if I play goalie? Yes, sports ball is fun, but it feels mean to score goals against the other team. Cal makes an amazing jump save, but is winded when the ball hits him in the chest. The score is tied, with Monet and Kam putting the pressure on. Then blam! You score the match point with a rad spike all the way from the net line. But for now, I can just focus on my reasoning. It doesn't seem bad to be a scientist. You do some work with the construction crew this week. Observe how they use congruence and their hollow projectors plan, build, and repair the colony. Foreman walks you through the projections. Literally. And points out the various architectural details adapted to life on Vertumnalia, like canopies over the windows to keep the temperature down. It's really neat to learn how the architecture addresses all the environmental concerns, so you don't have to rely on resource-hogging life support systems. You're having a terrifying familiar dream. A monster crashing through the walls, unfathomably large, every part of it wriggling and moving and searching for something. It tramples through the colony as you watch helplessly. Time shifts to the wreckage of your home. You're picking through it, looking for something. Tears streaking down your dust-covered face as you lift up heavy pieces of debris, searching. You wake up shouting, "No!" But your voice is drowned out by a deafening rumble in the skies outside. The bedroom window is covered in... water? It's pouring down from the clouds. You guess it must be rain, but you've never experienced it before. There's a bright flash from outside, another crack and rumble. Thunder! Must be a thunderstorm. It's still early hours in the morning. You've already almost forgotten your bad dream, but you're too unsettled to go back to sleep yet. The rain beats down on the roof of your quarters, joined now and then by great peals of thunder, like the footsteps of an angry beast. Hide under the covers, run outside and play in the rain, go to your parents for comfort. Let's just go to my parents. Your dad is awake too, watching the rain from the large porthole of the kitchenette. He gives you a hug and you gaze out together. This is good, he says quietly. This means we'll have plenty of water for the crops. Pure, healthy water, just like on Earth. Everything's going to be okay, my little potato. You hug your dad tight and hope he's alright. Or, hope he's right. Hi, kids. The ship's on board. Intelligence congruence guides into the room and ceiling track. The class cheers. Congruence is so cool. She's like a person, but also a machine. She knows a lot of jokes and can tell you anything about space. She never gets bored or frustrated by your questions. You all know me, she says, but I bet some of you have a lot of questions about how I work. What do you want to know? How do you know so many things? What's your job? Do you have to eat poop? Just listen. Yeah, we'll just listen. Keep things moving. Congruence explains that she has to do all kinds of calculations to help fly the ship and land it, and that she's designed to provide a user-friendly interface to the ship's systems. But Hal has modded me to be far more than that, she says proudly. Now I can even tell jokes. Why did the computer cross the road? Yeah, I don't know why, just listen. I don't know why. Congruence smiled widely. Insert binary joke. Get to work. This month, you explore making electronic music and learn about manipulating the frequency and pitch of sound to make unusual and sometimes pleasant results. It's kind of amazing that music is just physics. You share your creations on the HoloNet for people to download. It's nice to have something new to listen to. Days have been getting shorter, with only the yellow sun barely skimming the horizon. One morning you wake in the darkness to have to check your holopalm to know what time it is. You You see a hollow stream from Mars. Good morning to all my pals, if you can even call it morning. They've named it Glow Season because, like, everything is crazy glowing out there in the dark. I'm staying the heck inside for the next month. What's the point of even going out if you can't see anything? It's going to be a long month to y'all. Yeah, Hello? No way, it looks cool out there. I would think it looks cool, but let's go with agreeing with them. You give Mars Streams a thumbs up and peek out the window. The wormhole looks huge out there and everything looks spooky and glowing. No Peruni, that's way sketch. You'll be staying close to your quarters, thanks. After Mars' message is a notice from the council warning everyone to stay safe inside. Tammy's dad and the other surveyors have been called back and the gates closed for the month. There's a tension in the air, as if everyone's waiting for something. Yeah, I'm staying inside real good. Oh, that changed. Your first test already. Calm down, class house miles. This quiz is just to find out where y'all stand and what you want to learn in this class. It'll help me tailor personalized lesson plans to each of you. The test pings on your holoplan and you open it. Starts easy. Suspiciously easy. Sure enough, every section is harder than last, and you quickly stumped by a question. You know the teacher said you weren't supposed to be able to answer all the questions, but you look over at Tang. She's breezing through the tests. The competitive gremlin in you has an idea. 2 isn't a bad card, but I don't think I should cheat. Cheating is for losers, unless it makes the game more fun. You plow forward, skipping the questions you don't know and coming back for some of them later. It's a good strategy, letting you collect the easy points while not wasting time on the harder times. You got an A, which means advanced class. You still got some wrong. It's a little frustrating, but the teacher tells you those questions were designed for much older students. It appears we'll be working on advanced materials together, Tang says, impressed. I am now at 100% stress. The endless dark of glow season must be getting you. All week you've been having nightmares. Something is coming. Something bad is about to happen. A dreadful mantra repeats in your head. I think I just got 50 more stress. It's probably good I didn't rest. You hardly even seem surprised when the emergency lights are. You peek out the gates. Yes, they should be closed, but they're open. Just as you dreamed or remembered. The details are foggy. There are monsters. The closet assembly point is the children's crowd. But from the opposite direction you hear shouting and loud popping noises. Gunfire? Is the colony under attack? Sure, I'll help. Screw it, I'm already at 170 stress or whatever. Does it cap at 100? It does. Oop, nope. Pass that up. You hear yelling from the stairs up Can and push to southeast. Geoponics for your parents working. Let's go to my parents. Parents are defending the greenhouses from a pack of knee-high creatures who seem to have eyes growing for all their eyes. The oily flesh ripples from constant self-emotions as individual eyes blink one at a time, incessantly. You can't tell which is the end and which with these horrible things. Cal is standing nearby, wide-eyed. He slowly picks up a shovel and moves beside you. He reluctantly holds a shovel in front of himself like a weapon. Easy, doggies, he whispers. We don't want to hurt you. Get out of here, both of you, run! Your mom shouts, attracting the pack's attention. All except one animal, which moves straight towards you and Cal. Bite. Analyze its behavior. I do not have that. Figure out what it wants. I do have that. You look into its too many eyes and see fear. This creature is afraid of you. To Cal's amazement, you crouch down and try to look less threatening and choose 2 eyes at random to look into and communicate with. You start to reach out a hand, but the creature is trembling. Staring at its eyes is made even more frightened than before. It pounces. Defend yourself. You killed it with nothing but a rake. You thrust deep into several of the creature's many eyes. The rest of the pack scampers off the moment it falls. You never killed anything before. The body of the creature that was so terrifying a minute ago now looks strangely small and harmless. All of its eyes have closed for good now. Cal crouches beside it, in shock. I told you to run, Celine. Uh-oh. Your mom looks furious that you put yourself in danger. She storms over, and you think she's going to slap you. Then suddenly she pulls you into your arm and hugs you. She keeps rocking you and saying, my baby, over and over. It's pretty surreal. Almost as weird as the dog things with the eyes, honestly. After 2 weeks of darkness, the blue sun barely skimming the horizon begins to move higher in the sky and daytime returns. The Council admits they don't know how the gates were opened or how the creatures got in. Some of the attacking creatures were once thought to be docile. Others were species noted seen before. It's like something had driven them to assault the colony. At least nobody was killed this time.